Xbox walked on stage, dropped 15 games, and somehow convinced the entire internet that the last 10 years just didn't happen. Adorable. So here's the plan. We're going through all 15, one by one, no fluff, no corporate hype, just the honest read on each one. And I'll be real with you the whole way through about which ones are worth your excitement and which ones are red flags wearing a trailer. Let's get into it. Alright, we open with the prequel nobody actually asked for to a series that already ended. Twice. We've killed the Locust, we've killed the Swarm, we genuinely ran out of things to chainsaw in half. So naturally the move is to travel backwards in time to the one single day where we already know exactly how the whole thing plays out. And yet, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It looks good. It's Emergence Day. It's the COG getting their entire skull caved in. It's humanity's worst afternoon ever, and the Coalition can make gunplay feel chunky and gross and ridiculously satisfying in their sleep. That part is genuinely not in question. What is in question is whether the story is anything more than men with necks the circumference of a fire hydrant grunt at each other, reload, and grunt again. We've been burned by this franchise before. Statistically, we'll get burned again. But the floor here is high enough that I'm at least paying attention. Just don't pre-order it, wishlist it, and wait for reviews. Next up, the reboot that has been coming soon since roughly the last Ice Age. Playground Games, the Forza people, the racing studio, decided to make a fantasy RPG instead. Which is a little like your dentist calmly announcing he's going to perform open heart surgery on you. Could be amazing. He's clearly a smart, capable guy, but it is very much not the thing he has done 10,000 times before. The vibe looks gorgeous. Very British, very tea, scones, and casual decapitation in a sun-dappled meadow. There's a dry, cheeky wit running through it that the original Fables absolutely nailed. And if Playground can capture even half of that tone, this could genuinely be something special. But let's be honest with ourselves. This thing has been marinating in the oven for half a decade, from a studio that has never once shipped an RPG. That exact combination has a name in this industry, and the name is We'll See. Don't pre-order this one, way too early. Just keep an eye on it. So this is a remake of the campaign that already got remade inside the Master Chief Collection. Sit with that one for a second. We are now officially remaking the remakes. At this rate, next showcase, they're going to remaster this trailer. They'll remaster the announcement of the remaster. Now, credit where it's genuinely due. Combat Evolved is a legendary campaign. The Pillar of Autumn, the first time the floods show up and the entire tone of the game flips into horror, that soundtrack that has lived rent-free in your skull since you were a kid. A full fresh engine version of that could absolutely slap, and there's a totally fair argument that brand new players deserve to experience it without it looking like it was carved out of a damp potato. I get the pitch. I do. I'm just contractually obligated to gently remind you that you have now, at this point, purchased Halo 1 something like 4 separate times across your life. Persona 6 rolled up as a green teaser with roughly the gameplay content of a Windows screensaver, and the fandom immediately started planning the wedding and picking out names for the kids. And honestly, I love the energy. I respect the dedication. I just need everybody to collectively take one deep breath. Here's the thing. Atlas makes genuinely incredible JRPGs. This will, in all likelihood, end up a 90+ on Metacritic, and people are going to lose their entire minds over it in approximately 2028. Because that trailer told us exactly one single piece of usable information, and that information was, the color this time is green. That's it. That is the entire announcement. We collectively learned a color. Hold the parade. Obviously don't pre-order. This is years away. Relax. Okay, this one. This is the one that genuinely made me lean forward. Inkseal's Steampunk, time travel RPG, and it might honestly be the single most original idea in the entire showcase. Heavy Bioshock energy. Talky, atmospheric, gorgeous. With this whole your choices ripple forward through time and visibly reshape the city around you ambition. And when it actually cuts to gameplay, it looks like it has a real distinct identity, which, in a lineup absolutely stuffed with remakes and sequels, feels borderline revolutionary. The asterisk, and with Inxile there is always an asterisk, is that their recent track record is a string of games where the ambition wrote enormous, checks the budget simply couldn't cash. The ideas are always there. The big swing for the fences vision is always present. The clean execution is the coin flip, and it's the part I'm nervous about. Don't pre-order it. Let the reviews confirm it landed first. A brand new Spyro. Play anywhere on Game Pass, spring 2027. And that cinematic was beautiful. Genuinely, no notes. The little purple dragon has never looked better. The world looked vibrant and dense and full of personality. It also told us absolutely nothing whatsoever about how the game actually plays, which is the oldest, most reliable trick in the announced trailer handbook. Show me a stunning, expensive, pre-rendered cutscene, and never once show me a single solitary second of me actually holding the controller. Look, if the platforming captures even half of the charm the Reunited trilogy had, I'm completely sold, no hesitation. But gorgeous trailer, zero gameplay footage is a phrase that has personally ended more relationships than infidelity. I need to see the moment-to-moment. I need to see Spyro actually move. It's on Game Pass at launch anyway, so definitely don't pre-order it. This one's expansion content for Dark Ages, so it's more demons, more medieval ultraviolence, more parrying incoming attacks with your shield that is also somehow a chainsaw frisbee. Because of course it is. It's Doom. The Slayer does not do subtlety. The Slayer does not do diplomacy. The Slayer does math by counting corpses. And honestly, id Software fundamentally does not miss. The combat floor on anything they touch is high. The only real variable in this entire equation is you, specifically whether you personally vibed with the base game's parry-heavy combat rhythm. Some people clicked with that system instantly and felt like an unstoppable demon-slaying god of war. Other people felt like they were stuck playing rock, paper, scissors with a furious minotaur. Where you personally landed on that exact divide pretty much determines whether this expansion is a must-buy or a hard pass. It's DLC, so don't pre-order. Make sure you even like the base game first. Ninja Theory basically shelved everything else they had cooking to make this, so it is, in every sense, the entire studio's baby. And here's the genuinely honest truth about Hellblade 2. It was, without a shred of exaggeration, one of the most visually staggering games ever put on a screen. Full stop. It was also, depending entirely on who you ask, a 4-hour walking and suffering simulator with about 3 actual fights in the whole thing. So this sequel is going to be photorealistic to the point of discomfort. The binaural audio design is going to physically crawl inside your skull and set up camp, and the exact second it launches, the internet is going to declare full-scale thermonuclear war over whether is it even a game is a legitimate criticism or just bait. Bring snacks. Maybe a helmet. That comment section is going to be an actual battlefield. It's day one on Game Pass. There's genuinely no reason to pre-order it. The Metro series is, and I will not be taking notes on this, one of the most atmospheric shooter franchises that exists on the planet. The post-apocalyptic Russian metro tunnels, the gas mask cracking, claustrophobic dread, the way you find yourself rationing every single bullet, like it's the last breath of air in the tunnel. 4A Games nails pure mood and atmosphere, better than almost anyone else working in the genre. I genuinely, unironically love these games. The one consistent, recurring worry, every single time, without fail, is the launch state. Metro games have a long and proud tradition of shipping just a little bit feral. A touch undercooked. A handful of core systems held together with duct tape, hope, and sheer Slavic determination. The patches always do eventually come, and the games always end up great. But day one specifically is, historically, an adventure you opt into at your own risk. Don't pre-order. Let the day one patch land before you jump in. This game has been teased since 2020. Let me actually say that out loud again, slowly, so it properly lands. 6 years. 6 full years of basically just a logo and a vibe. It's the zombie survival base builder that the first 2 entries somehow pulled off with an absolute mountain of jank and an honestly, genuinely endearing amount of scrappy charm. And Undead Labs swears up and down, hand on heart, that the third one is bigger, deeper, better, more ambitious, more everything. They always say that. Every studio always says exactly that. Bigger and better is the phrase you slap on the marketing poster. It is categorically not the same thing as the product that actually ends up shipping into your console 6 years later. 6 years of silence and now it wants money up front? Do not pre-order this. Now this is the remake the fans actually got down on their knees and openly begged for. February 18th, 2027, day one on Game Pass. Persona 4 is a stone-cold, no-arguments classic. Inaba the Fog, the small-town murder mystery, the dancing bear, the entire cozy comfort food junior PG experience that an alarming number of people have genuinely restructured their entire personalities and life, philosophies around. And here's the thing, it's actually really, really hard to mess up a beloved game when your whole job is essentially just polishing and modernizing the original, unless, of course, somebody on the team decides to get clever and mess with it. Touch the wrong beat, rewrite the wrong scene, cut the wrong character moment, and a deeply, terrifyingly passionate fan base will have the pitchfork sharpened and the torches lit in roughly 4 seconds flat. But the baseline expectation here? Sky high, and probably completely earned. It's day 1 on Game Pass. No reason on earth to pre-order it. Asobo is back in the medieval misery and biblical rat tsunami business, and business is apparently booming. August 27th, 2026, day 1 on Game Pass. The first 2 Plague Tale games were tight, linear, jaw-droppingly gorgeous, emotionally devastating gut punches. Amicia and Hugo sprinting for their lives from literal heaving oceans of rats, while you, the player, slowly fell apart inside watching it. If that very specific flavor of beautifully rendered suffering is your thing, then this is simply more of exactly that. It's not reinventing the wheel here, and frankly it doesn't need to. The entire job of the series is to make you deeply, genuinely care about 2 kids, and then methodically make their lives a complete living nightmare for 15 hours. And Asobo is unsettlingly good at that one specific brand of emotional cruelty. It's on Game Pass and months out. Please don't pre-order it. Team Ninja's Three Kingdoms Soulslike gets itself a sequel, and it's headed straight to Game Pass. The first Wo Long was a relentless deflect fest with a combat loop that absolutely cooked the moment it finally clicked in your brain, paired with a story you will completely forget the literal instant the credits start rolling. I genuinely played that whole game, I genuinely enjoyed my time with it, and I could not name a single character in it for you right now at gunpoint. So the formula for this sequel is honestly pretty easy to predict. The combat is going to be tight, demanding, and genuinely fantastic. The cutscenes are going to be aggressively, mercifully skippable, and you're going to spend the entire game deflecting attacks on millisecond timing, while completely tuning out whatever the plot thinks it's doing. And you know what? Honestly, that is a perfectly fine, perfectly enjoyable deal. Don't pre-order. Watch some real combat footage first to be sure. Apparently, this one is going full open world now. The original Minecraft Dungeons was a perfectly serviceable little Diablo 4 Kids loot crawler. You played it for one genuinely cozy weekend, had a perfectly nice time with it, and then never thought about it again for the rest of your entire natural life. It was fine. Fine was, start to finish, its whole entire personality. Going open world is a genuinely big, ambitious swing for a follow-up like this. It could turn into a fun, breezy, family-friendly open dungeon adventure with real staying power and legs for days. Or it could very quietly mutate into a microtransaction farm, cosplaying as a creeper. And listen, with literally anything wearing the Minecraft brand on it, that second possibility is always the live question hanging in the air. It's Minecraft, it's on Game Pass, it's not going anywhere. Don't pre-order. And we close the whole thing out on the single best sentence I will say in this entire video. Deck 13's first person, Napoleonic, plague-ridden Souls-like. Read that back to yourself slowly. That is, without contest, the most metal premise in the entire showcase, and it is genuinely not even close. First-person Souls combat set in a rotting, disease-ravaged Napoleonic war zone? Sign my entire being up immediately, no further questions. Deck 13 are the people behind the Surge and Lords of the Fallen, so they unambiguously, fundamentally understand the Souls-like genre, the loop, the stamina dance, the brutal you died dopamine punishment cycle, all of it. The one catch, exactly the same as it always is with this studio, is that their launches can be a touch rough around the edges. Great bones. Genuinely great ideas. Occasionally slightly janky skin stretched over them. Deck 13 launches can be rough. Don't pre-order, wait and see how it lands. Quick thing real fast. If a random stranger on the internet actively talking you out of spending your money is somehow valuable to you, that's exactly what the subscribe button down there is for. I know, it's a genuinely weird pitch. Subscribe so I can stop you from buying things. But somehow, against all odds, here we are and it works. So that's all 15 of them. And here's the part the showcase will never ever say out loud. Not in a million years. Almost every single one of these games is on Game Pass day 1. So just don't pre-order. That's it. That's the whole takeaway. Don't pre-order the Game Pass games you're already paying for. Don't pre-order from a studio whose last game needed 6 months of emergency surgery to be playable. And don't pre-order a sequel that went totally silent for 6 years, and then suddenly reappeared asking for $60 up front. Wishlist everything. Pre-order nothing. Let the rest of the internet volunteer as the unpaid beta testers, and you stroll in 2 weeks later when the game actually works, and it's somehow already on sale. I'll catch you when the reviews drop, and the cope truly begins.